Well, hello. I'm Jerry Tukoski, and welcome to Video Content Marketing for Your Business. And this is episode number 11. And today we're going to talk about how you can present yourself on video. So a very important topic. Welcome. Thank you for joining me wherever you are in the world. It's a lovely day here in Sydney, Australia. It's a beautiful summer's day. So I hope it's a lovely afternoon or evening wherever you are in the world. Thank you once again for joining me. Now, last week on episode number 10, we looked at the effective tools that you need for your video to create effective videos. This week, we go a step further and we'll look at the most important part of the video, and that's you, the presenter. Hopefully that you're in front of the cameras. And if you're not in front of your cameras, I will hopefully convince you that you need to be in front of the cameras to for your brand and for your business. Now, I'm going to share with you today some tips that I learned through acting school, my 3 years of drama school, as well as the years I spent on television. And I also found an old book that I wrote many years ago. It's not for sale now. I think it's run out of, but this is actually a real book that I wrote. It's called Power Performance: The Art of Public Speaking Presentations. And I've only got a few copies left at home. But yeah, you can't get that anymore. But I did write that book a few years ago, and I'm going to use some of the tips that I present in that book as well. So it's going to be a fun old morning. We go for about 20 minutes or so, because I do value your time, and I hope that you get a lot out of it. So we're going to get straight into it. But before we do, I would like to ask you a special favor, if I may. And I would like you to leave a comment below this video and let me know, what is your biggest problem or challenge in video marketing? Now, is it a lack of time? Is it a lack of resources, lack of equipment? Is it a lack of strategy? So just let me know in your comments, what is your greatest problem or what is your greatest challenge? And what I will do is use those comments and feedback and create content for this particular show each week. Now, as a special incentive, I am going to, if I can, okay. Now, as a special incentive, what I'm going to do is, there we go. Okay. Now, as a special incentive, I'm going to give away free membership for my Video Marketing Strategist. Now, it's a video marketing strategy program where you can learn to create videos that you need to grow your business. Now, it's normally $47, and I'm going to offer that absolutely free. And it's a lifetime membership, and you simply have to answer that question: what is your biggest problem with video marketing? So leave your comment. I'm not going to give away the membership to everyone who comments, but the comments that I like, that I want to use in future programs, I will give you a free membership to this membership program. Now, also last week, we also talked about free tools, and you can get your essential free video tools guide right here at www.vimico.com.au/tools. You come to this opt-in page, just send it through, and I will email you the link where you can download the PDF. All right, so that's the tool guide, well recommended. So just grab that. Okay. All right, now we're going to start. Let's get back. Here we go. All right, we're back again. Okay. So let's talk about why you need to be in front of the camera. Now, some people don't like it. They feel a bit tired, a bit nervous about being in front of the camera. But I'm going to talk to you about why you should be in front of the camera, because that's okay. I've got a couple of pens on my desk. Now, they're actually different brands, but you can see they're very similar. They perform the same task. So which product would you choose? Well, they're both the same, so or very similar. So you would choose something perhaps based on price. Now, as a business, you never want to compete on price because you're going to lose. Everyone loses out except maybe the customer, perhaps. But you don't want to compete on price. You want to compete on value and what makes you different from other brands. Now, how do you have a different product when it's similar to others? How can you differentiate yourself from other products? Well, it's through branding. And the best way to differentiate yourself through branding is using yourself. Now, why I say that is that on this planet, there are billions and billions of people on Earth. But there's only one of you. And there may be people who are similar to you, but there is only one of you. You are unique. And that's how you can get your branding, by showing yourself or speaking in front of the camera. Personalizing your brand makes you unique. And it is a way of cutting through that clutter. And you're no longer competing similar products or similar price. You're competing with a brand, yourself. People remember people more than they remember products or services. So it's absolutely critical to get in front of the camera, the video camera, and personalize your brand. Now, of course, when you personalize your brand, when you're in front of the camera, people will judge your product and services based on your performance. So if you come across as being or lacking confidence, being a little bit nervous, a bit of jumpy, a bit all over the place, that will reflect on your brand. So it's absolutely critical that you can perform in front of a camera very effectively, and that will reflect positively on your brand. Now, when we talk about how to be effective online videos, there's one thing that keeps coming up all the time, and that is you need to be authentic. But what does authentic really mean? Now, people think, well, I've got to be authentic. So, for example, they might say, well, look, I'm a grub, I like to wear T-shirts with coffee stains on it. I don't brush my hair. Well, I don't anyway. They may not brush their hair, and they may look like a fairly casual and a bit of a grub, and they may talk really like this, and they say, well, that's me. I'm just trying to be authentic. I don't want to pretend I'm something I'm not, and this is the way they present themselves on screen. But it's just not going to work, and that's absolutely not true. Every day we play different roles. Now, personally, I play the role as a husband to my wife, as a partner. I play the role as a father to my children, to my two boys. And sometimes when I play with my boys, I'm just play the role of another boy, another friend. In business, I play the role as a leader. I may play a role as a teacher, play the role as a student. We play all these different roles every single day. But we're always being authentic. It's us. It's a different part of us. It's a different part of you. They're all different facets of you, or your authenticness. That's a word. But you're authentic every time, but you're just playing different roles. So when you're in front of the camera, don't fall in the trap of saying, well, I don't want to be too polished. I don't want to practice too much, because that wouldn't be authentic. That's not right at all. When you're presenting in front of the camera, you need to be authentic, but you need to be you, the presenter in you. Now, we all have the presenter in us. We've got to find it, take it out, nurture it, polish it, teach it a few tricks, and put it out there whenever we're presenting in front of the camera. That doesn't mean you're always like this. I'm an introvert. I'm quiet. I like to internalize my thoughts. Extroverts tend to externalize their thoughts. But being an introvert wouldn't work in front of a camera like this. It just wouldn't work. So I have to find the presenter in me that I use in my acting, my television work. So it's very important to find the presenter in you and bring that out. It's it's a part of you. It's being authentic. All right. So don't get in that trap of saying, "Oh no, that's not really me. I'm never like that, and so I won't be like that." Don't fall into that trap. All right. It is you. It is part of you, the presenter role. Now, when we talk about presenters, we talk about the people that we admire. I mean, think back of all those presenters that you enjoy watching. What are the things that make you like that person? Okay, well, they usually, you think, geez, I like to spend more time with that person. You do connect with that person. You think they're friendly. You think they're intelligent. They've got energy. They've got a lot of personality. Some people will say they've got charisma. So all of those things are very true. But there is one thing that is common with all those different types of features or traits in a presenter. There's just one thing, one single thing. And if we get that right, then everything else will fall into place. So what is that one thing? Confidence. It's not overconfidence, just inner confidence. Inner confidence. When someone's confident, they're nice and relaxed, and they show the personality. They show the real person. Now, do me a favor right now. Show me when you're nervous. How do you, physically, what are you like when you're nervous? Now, when someone is nervous, they tend to close down and protect their body, right? Shield their body. When they're nervous, they feel tense. The muscles are tense. The facial features are tense, so there's not much facial expression here, and the voice might be very light and very straight and very strangled in the throat here, and you just want to talk as fast as you can so you can get off as soon as possible and finish this and then relax and forget about it. But what happens when you relax? When you relax, you open up, you breathe, you actually do breathe, your muscles relax, you open up, you speak from down here rather than in your throat. You've got time to smile, your speech is slower, you pause, and you're making eye contact. All of these things that we like when we're watching a presenter. And it is a fact that the audience, when they watch a presenter, tend to mirror that presenter. So when you see a speaker on stage or you see someone on video and they're all nervous and they're fumbling around, you feel awkward, you feel bad, you tend to feel uncomfortable watching that person. That's why you don't want to watch a person who feels that way. You enjoy watching a person who is confident because it makes you confident, it makes you relaxed. You can be relaxed. When you see someone enjoying themselves in front of the camera, then you can enjoy their performance. So it's about your audience mirroring you. So how do you want your audience to feel? If you want the audience to feel nice and relaxed and confident, then that's the way you need to present yourself. So that's a very important part. So the big question is then, how do you become confident? Okay, well, obviously one of the things that really strikes people, particularly in public speaking, or if you're doing a live webcast like this, is you get nervous. And the nerves is the real killer, because when you get nervous, this is what happens to you, right? So how do you overcome the nerves? Well, let's change the word nerves and let's call it excitement. Let's get excited rather than getting nervous. I think getting nervous or / excited is very, very important. And it's a positive sign, because when we get excited, nervous, what it is our body's preparing to do something important. That's the fight or flight syndrome, right? If you're being attacked by a saber-toothed tiger, you need to either escape or fight. So your body prepares for action. And when you are performing, whether on stage or in front of the camera, you need to perform. You need to have energy. That gives you the energy, it gives you focus. It allows you to really take off. Now imagine someone who doesn't feel nerves or / excitement. What type of performance will they give? A bit like this, you know. G'day, how you going? What was I going to talk about today? It lacks energy. And when you see a presenter that lacks energy, it drains the audience of energy because you're giving all the energy to your presenter. You don't want that. You want to take the energy away from the presenter. So you want to have that feeling in your stomach before you present it. You want it. Don't ignore it. You want it. Yes, I feel something here. That means I'm going to perform well. And the same with sports as well. You want that performance. You want that adrenaline because that's going to give you that energy and that focus. Now, for example, when we do opening nights for a stage show, everyone feels excited. Right? Everyone's got the excitement feeling. And the opening performance may have some problems, may have some glitches on the first night, but it doesn't matter because the energy is so up there. The energy is so high. Everyone's flying along, and it's usually a great performance. The second night, it's called second night blues. Everyone comes down. Oh, we've done it. Oh, here we go again. Now, as a professional actor, you need to learn how to get back up again. Because if you don't, the performances go very flat. That's why usually the second nights are much flatter, the performances, because the energy is no longer there. The adrenaline's not there anymore. And your performance goes flat, and then you pick it up again during the season. So if you're about to do something, if you're about to present in front of the camera, you're feeling a little bit, feeling a bit of butterflies here, instead of seeing it as a negative, see it as a very positive thing, because it means you're preparing yourself to do something special, and you want to bring out the best in you. You want to bring out that performance quality, the energy, the focus to connect with your audience. So see it as a positive thing. Now, just by reframing the negative nervous to a positive excitement can do wonders for you. So I want you to do that. It is a super trick, a super tip that I'm giving you there. Just the refocusing of that mentally is going to change everything for you. Because when you start feeling those butterflies again, you're going to thinking, great, it's going to be a good performance. All right, so that's number one. Reframe the nerves. Now, by excitement. Now, you need to control that. And if your heart's pumping away like that, you can control that through your breathing, through controlled breathing, breathing through the nose and releasing. So breathing in slowly. So just take slow, deep breaths before starting. That will slow down your heart rate and bring everything right down and relax. Because the brain is saying, oh, we're about to do something that's really exciting, really something maybe dangerous, something new, something challenging. So your brain's saying, okay, we better pump everything up. But then it says, hang on, why are we breathing so slowly? Why are we being so relaxed? Oh, maybe we'll just take it down a little notch. And so we're in control of that energy. That's something very special, control energy. Now, once you control that energy, everything falls into place. When you're nervous, you speak very fast. You just want to quickly say what you have to say and get off again. But when you have that controlled energy, you're in focus, you can go to the next stage. You can control your speech and control your rhythm. You're more relaxed. You tend then to use more of your body language. You're using your whole body to communicate. And that's another quality that people enjoy. When you're watching someone performing on the screen or on stage, they're using the whole body, what they're saying, the words they're saying matches what they're saying with their bodies. It's congruent, right? If someone says, yeah, I really enjoy being here. Thanks very much, everyone. I love it. Thank you. It just doesn't work. But once you have the words matching your physical body, perfect. People will enjoy that. Now, what do you do when you talk to camera? Well, obviously you look straight down the barrel. Now, it can be very awkward looking straight at the camera. Obviously, there's no one there. So another good tip is to Imagine your best friend is there. You're talking to your best friend. And when you're talking to your best friend, it's not about delivering a speech or presentation, just blah, 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 blah. It's about having a conversation, one-to-one conversation. So it doesn't matter how many people are watching you on your video, on your webcast, or your Google Hangout, wherever it is. It doesn't matter how many people are watching it. It's only going to be a one-to-one conversation. Your audience will be watching you, perhaps on a mobile device, perhaps on a computer screen, and it's just one-on-one. You are having a conversation, one-to-one. And when you have a conversation, you don't just ramble right through your presentation. You're actually having a conversation. You're talking, and when you talk to someone, you're pausing. You're allowing your points to sink in. You're allowing the person to think about it, and perhaps you're looking at their body language and seeing whether they understand what you're saying. Now, obviously, you can't do that on camera, but it's very important that you have that conversation style when you're presenting on camera. Okay, does that make sense? The viewer doesn't want to get bombarded with all this verbal assault. They want time to be able to absorb the information that you have. So that's the other great tip I want to give you. So again, just being relaxed, being confident allows you to really shine through. And that's the most important thing that you need to work on. So how do you gain that confidence? Is there a trick? Well, fortunately, it's not a trick, but it's practice. Practice, practice, practice. Now, what I like to do is certainly whenever you do a presentation, you need to research. You need to know what you're talking about. You need to prepare. It's very hard to come on, talk in front of the camera and not be prepared. Unless you know this thing back to front, it's very hard. But you need to prepare. You need to really value your audience. Absolutely value your audience by preparation. So you need to prepare. You need to make notes. Get your notes. I've got notes here. Right? So I've got my notes here. So get your notes. Stand in front of a mirror. This may sound silly, but get in front of a mirror and go through your presentation, making eye contact with yourself in front of the mirror and go through your presentation. Why? Because you know that you need to keep looking up and making eye contact. This will really test you whether you know your material. The other thing is that when you perform in front of a mirror, you're getting instant feedback. You can see right away whether you're using your hands, whether you see, some people do this and they don't even know they're doing a whole presentation with their arms folded like this. They don't know until they see it and they think, oh, that's strange. I didn't know that, because we don't know. So by practicing and going over your presentation in front of a mirror gives you instant feedback. This is what you're doing. Geez, I'm not smiling. I'll smile. We're not talking about cheesy smile. Hey, everyone, it's so nice to be with you today. It's just being relaxed. And relaxation and preparation it gives you that confidence. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is, confidence. Confidence is the number one trait that you need to work on. So, and to get confidence, you need to know what you're talking about. So you need to prepare and to practice. Practice, practice, practice. Now, some people say, I don't want to practice too much. I just want to turn the camera on, just go, because I want to be spontaneous. Well, let me give you a final tip from an actor's point of view. Okay. Now, when you start rehearsing, for instance, a stage play, you've got the script and you start to go through that script. And what happens in the early stages, you're trying to remember lines. So as you're going through these scenes, you're not quite there in the scene because you're trying to remember lines. But the thing is, the more you practice, the more you learn your lines. And once you know the lines like that, you know the lines absolutely. You no longer have to think about the lines. You don't need to think about what am I going to say next. And that is the time you can be right in the moment. I don't need to think about anything. I know it. I know where I'm going. And you don't need to think about other things. You can be right there in the moment. When you're right there in the moment, that's when you can be spontaneous. That is really where you can then fly free. So it's counterintuitive, but the more you practice, the more freedom you will have, the more ability you will have to be spontaneous. All right, does that make sense? Okay, well, I hope it does. I hope those tips, those tips I gave you today are going to help you and going to convince you to get in front of the camera and be your brand, be your personal brand, because that's what your business needs. Thank you very much for joining me today. We're about 25 minutes in, so thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We'll be back again next week, same time, same place, and I look forward to seeing you then. Bye for now.